Hey everyone, this is Karen Waksman, founder of Retail MBA, and today we're going to be talking about getting your office supply products sold at retailers like Office Max and so forth. So if you have a great consumer product in the office supply category and you're looking for quick tips and strategies, this little training will walk you through how to do that and just to give you some ideas and suggestions on what that world is all about. So a little background about me before we begin. My name is Karen Waxman. I'm the founder of a company called Retail MBA Brands. We help consumer products companies scale into retail chains, online retailers, catalogs, small retailers, HSN, QVC, and so much more. And the purpose of our trainings are honestly to just help as many people as possible generate the most amount of income for their products. I personally sold millions of units of products to the world's largest retailers as a manufacturer's rep. Started my career out back in early 2000s, and since then I've taught close to 50,000 companies across the globe on getting their products sold at retail chains and beyond. So, with that said, let's get started on today's quick tips and trainings on selling office supplies to retail chains. All right, so let's talk about what I would do if I was selling an office supply product. The first thing I would do is I wouldn't do what everybody else does. What everybody else does with office supplies is they'll go after Office Depot and Office Max and start there. And basically, those would be their top hitters. Those are the ones that they really want to sell to. Now, there's nothing wrong with selling to these retailers, but every single office supply company is trying to sell to them. Why does this matter to you? Well, it is a problem because when a buyer sees the same products all day, every single day, and she's looking to purchase something new, and she's office supply a retailer and very niched out, all she does is see your competitors' products and better and bigger and working with bigger brands and so forth. And so she's more inclined to say no. It's just common in our industry where it's common to say no when the buyer is actually looking at every possible angle of an office supply product. Whereas if you sold to a retailer like Walmart or Target or anywhere that sells, even Michael's stores, whatever it is, retailers that can buy office supplies that are not totally niched out, they're actually more intrigued by looking at new products. You would think that the niche retailers would be the first go-to move, but as a sales professional, I found that those ended up being the ones that were harder to convert initially, and the ones that were a little bit outlandish, not exactly what all your competitors are thinking about going after, are the ones that generate the most amount of revenue. Now, doesn't mean that you shouldn't go after Office Depot, Office Max, you should, but just recall that I said that if for some reason they're rejecting you, it doesn't really matter because all you need is one yes from one chain store. And the more obscure the chain store, the better. Meaning, maybe Ace Hardware can buy your product, or 7-Eleven can buy your product, or like some sort of retailer can buy your product that is not something that most people think about in your industry. And you get them to say yes. The retailers are actually looking for products that are not risky. And for them, when you are selling a product at any chain store, you tend to be less risky in their eyes because somebody took a chance on you. And that's usually when they decide to start working with you. So my recommendation is don't get your heart broken. If they say no to you, go to all the different retailers, find one to say yes, and then it becomes a domino effect. And then you go back to the Office Depots and the Office Maxes of the world, and then you get what you want. I see it all the time. People kind of cower away after they didn't get what they wanted initially, and they think that there's something wrong with their product and so forth because the retailer said no to them. It's not really that. It's just usually your strategy, and you don't quite understand how retailers operate and so forth. Obviously, there's so much more to say about that, but the essence is don't stick to what everybody else is doing, which is to reach out to the only few retailers and so forth. So one thing to consider also with chain stores is they don't always have a lot of room for office supply products. And so one thing to think about, like, if you go to an aisle at a chain store and they only have one section for office supplies, that concerns people and makes you wonder whether or not you should sell to them. One thing to consider is there anywhere else in the store your product could fit? Is it a gift item? Because there are gift buyers who can buy your product. Is it back to school? Could it work in that section of the store? Could it be for college kids? Some retailers focus on the college market. Could you change the coloring and design elements to match holiday seasons? There's a lot of different ways that you can sell your product beyond what you're currently doing, and you'd be surprised at how many angles you can go after the seasonal market. the retailers that sell holiday stuff. There's a lot of possible ways to slice and dice this to make your product sell into other retailers and so forth. Bottom line is that there is a lot of opportunity there, and all you need is just one hit, one retailer to say yes to your product, and then you'll see that there's a nice domino effect that occurs. And when I say domino effect, I mean other retailers start suddenly being interested in your product. Happens to my clients all the time. They start with no sales, and then they get that one retailer, and all of a sudden they're in 5, 6, 7 stores. It doesn't always happen that way, but it can happen that way, and I want that for you because one chain store order can mean millions of dollars to your business and your bottom line. If you want to learn about your industry and your category as a whole, there are trade shows that you can go to. One example is the Office and School Supply Trade Show, ASD. Is an option for you. And the reason you want to do that is just to kind of take a look at your competitors, what's going on, who's selling a lot, who's not, how they're packaging, what they're doing, and just start talking to people and getting involved in your local community of people who sell similar products with trade associations and so forth. There's a lot of things you can do to generate and grow your sales, but I just want to give you some ideas to think about, that it's nice to have community, and especially people who are like-minded doing similar things. It's good for you to get involved and see what's going on in your industry and your category. Anyways, if you are interested in learning more, we actually have a full training that's 90 minutes long. All you have to do is go to retailmba.com/free and sign up for our upcoming webinar event where we basically walk you through how to approach, pitch, and sell to retailers in much more detail. I'll have time with you. Otherwise, take a look at what we're up to if you're interested in getting support on how to approach buyers, how to reach out to buyers, how to get them to buy, how to work with reps, what words to use to cultivate the best message possible to support you in actualizing your dream of generating revenue with physical products. We work with companies with no experience, no buyer relationships, and they're scaling. You can take a look at what we're up to. We have do-it-yourself programs, done-for-you programs. We have all sorts of stuff on retailmba.com, and you can also take a look at our testimonials page. You'll see how many success stories we've had in all sorts of niche retailers and major retailers and so forth. So anyways, thanks a lot for listening to us. Karen Waksman, Retail MBA Brands. Please be on the lookout for additional content that we create. Subscribe to this and share with your friends and like and do whatever you got to do to keep in touch with us, because we're always creating new content. Thanks so much. Hope this helped.